AFC North receiver edition storylines. Ravens, we talked about them last segment. The fact that the receiver position there not as involved as it may be elsewhere. Which top receiver free agents should the Ravens try to get to accept their money and join their team?
There's some good ones out there. All right, here's the two that, I mean, of course, hey, listen, we'd love to see them get Allen Robinson or Chris Godwin. You know, Kenny Golladay would be amazing. Are they going to pay that type of money though? To me, those top three guys could command, you know, somewhere between $16 and $19 million a year. I don't see the Ravens going that route, right? The one guy that jumps off to me, Mike, is number 50, Curtis Samuel right there. To me, you want to run the Lamar Jackson offense? Curtis Samuel is the better, bigger version of Hollywood Brown. He's got two rockets up his butt. He can fly. He can play tailback. He did it last year when McCaffrey got hurt. They will toss him the ball, and he will run around the edge for an 80-yard touchdown. You can give him the speed sweeps, the reverses, to do all that. To me, if you made me pick one that just makes sense, and I don't think he's going to be able to command a huge number, you know, he's going to have to pay him, but not like top wide receiver money. That's the one that just jumps out to me when you talk about the Ravens.
And what you may have to do if you're the Ravens, you're going to have to sprinkle a little more cash onto the pile to convince a guy to come to a place where he's taking, at best, a leap of faith. At worst, he signs on the dotted line and then realizes things are no different than they've been, and I'm doing a lot of blocking, and I'm really not getting to do the thing that I want to do, which is catch the football. That's the challenge. And, you know, until they can convince one of these guys to sign on, the draft is going to be where they have to replenish that position, unless a guy like a Des Bryant stumbles into their laps like he did last year. But even he doesn't want to play for him again in 2021. He wants to play 2 more years, but for a team other than the Ravens. You just don't see a lot of footballs flying your way in that offense.
And they don't need that
Odell
kind of
Beckham
guy.
Jr.
Yeah, sorry.
No, Odell Beckham Jr. recovering from the ACL, 2021. Browns or the field?
Ooh, man. I mean, it's this is the first time we're seeing these, right? So I just want to let everybody know. It's not like we had this at home last night and I could do homework on these, and I'm not trying to make excuses. This is awesome.
You could have. I could have. It was in there.
It was in there? Damn. Either way, I'm good. And it doesn't matter. I'm going to go with the field. I don't know why. They don't really need to. Like, they have enough money to keep them and do all of that. But I don't know why. I just have a gut feeling that he might be shopped around quietly this offseason. And there's some teams a la in the past, like the New England Patriots, who have had their eye on Odell Beckham Jr. and things like that, could use wide receiver. I don't know. I have no feel or inside info with this at all. I am intrigued where I want to go like, hey, that Cleveland offense finally got it going. And what it would have looked like with Odell Beckham Jr. But I know you're going to go, well, maybe they wouldn't have looked like that if Odell Beckham Jr. was out there. And I understand that question. I think it's fair. I get it. So I'm going to go the field. What about you?
Here's the problem. $14.5 million salary this year. $12.791 million of it is guaranteed for injury, becomes fully guaranteed on March 19, which means it becomes fully guaranteed. They can't cut him. He can't pass a physical. He's on the team this year at $14.5 million with a $1 million roster bonus that he gets when he shows up for training camp. I think what will happen is this.
Yeah.
They bring him back. They keep him on the team. They see how it goes, and then he's potentially traded at or before the deadline if it's not working, and if there's somebody else out there that says, hey, you know what, he is healthy. Because that's the problem.
Well,
who's going to trade for this contract if you don't know the guy's healthy and ready to go in 2021?
Well, you're right, but there's two things I'll say there. Just the ACL injury happened at a decent time of the year to where I would think there's no doubt he's ready to go for the start of the season. And that money you're talking about for a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. to me it's peanuts. I think teams might look at that, and if they can find ways to wiggle that in there, they're going to go $12, $14 million, whatever the hell the number is. They're going to go, well, I'll take it. We'll go with it. So that's where it's going to be interesting. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm really that's going to be something to watch here, I think, this offseason.
My guess is Browns and then eventually Field before the Tuesday after Week 8 that he ends up being traded somewhere because they're going to realize they don't need him to make that offense go.
Yeah.
JuJu Smith-Schuster, Steelers or the Field?
I'm going the Field all the way here. I will not even hesitate. First off, Claypool and Deontay Johnson, to me, are better players than JuJu Smith-Schuster. They bring more to the table as far as their versatility, their pure explosiveness on the outside. Juju's a guy that kind of needs to work in the slot. He's got great value. I'm not trying to say that, but he is a clear, real good number 2. And, he is a guy that will run block and run over the middle and play physical. He's a big dude, and he is physical that way. But I just look at the Steelers and some of the issues they have with their salary cap and everything like that, and I think they're pretty talented at the wide receiver position that I'm saying field there.
I agree with you as well, even though Smith-Schuster said last week he wants to retire with the Steelers. He wants his legacy to be there. I think someone else is going to make him an offer. The Steelers just won't.
Yeah,
they can't.
Right.
They have to be smart with their dollars, and this is a team that has a high degree of confidence in its ability to find receivers in the draft. It has proven it time and again for more than a decade. Kevin Colbert, awesome job of finding receivers in the draft. You can't pay anything close to market value for JuJu Smith-Schuster, whatever it's going to be. And look, I don't know who to ultimately blame for the Corvette stuff last year, and the Browns is the Browns, but they misplayed that. They allowed him to become a distraction. They allowed his words and his actions to motivate the opponents. And I just feel like it's at a point where the Steelers are better off moving forward, Chris.
Yeah, I hear that too. I'm with you. I think he's a really good guy. Of course, I don't think he does it within malice or mean or trying.
But somebody's got to talk to him.
But I know
somebody's got to talk to him and say you're not being mean, but it's not helping the cause.
But it's not helping the cause. Exactly right. He's a social media star. I mean, he had a Verizon commercial in the Super Bowl when he's riding a giant sea creature, I don't know, and it ate something, right? I mean, that just tells you. My little boy knows JuJu Smith-Schuster more through social media and video games than he does more through what he does on the football field. And I think he got a little too, obsessed with that aspect of his life and everything like that.
Give me one name that would be the best receiver gift for Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Man. I mean, they're not
free agency or the draft.
Well, the receiver, receiver-wise, they're not in a bad spot. They got a little talent there. They can go a lot of different ways there. I just look at guys like, the Corey Davises, the Marvin Jones, the Kenny Galladays. The Bengals have some money to spend, certainly. I look at all of those, and maybe you can even get a T.Y. Hilton who doesn't want to totally break the bank or something like that. Add a little veteran presence to some of those young receivers you got there. So I'll be itching. I would like them to be better at pass protecting him more than anything.
Right.
That would be the big thing. I mean, man, did he make chicken salad out of chicken a lot last year.
All right, and I agree with you. They need to protect him better, especially after the way he got injured, and he takes a pounding. They need to work on him. They need to nudge him gently to get him to protect himself a little bit better. Maybe he learned his lesson last year when he suffered that injury, because that is not college football. That hit that he took, it was violent, it was brutal, and here's hoping he's 100% when the regular season rolls around.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.